Hello, everybody. I'm Toby Schifsky. I'm the Executive Director of Dearborn Real Estate Education. And with me today, I have my Product Manager, Kate Wagner for Dearborn. Kate, thank you for being here.
Welcome.
Yeah. And today's star is none other than really the pillar of our real estate licensing education, which is our modern real estate practice textbook content that is driven out through multiple different channels, from eBooks to online courses to MP3 players, study guides used by almost 1,000 educators across the country, and is considered really the foundational piece towards most resource docs or most resource libraries when it comes to real estate. Just about every single educator in America has this book on their desk. Every single state uses it as a resource for their licensing exams. And so without further ado, I'm going to jump in, and I'm glad Kate is here, because Kate deals with modern real estate practice just about every day in the office, creating kind of the way that you actually can get the book. So the packages that it's sold in, the way the online courses are set up and work, the delivery of all the content. This is what Kate does. And so she's going to help us really kind of understand what's new, what's changed, what's not changed, because sometimes some things are really good and you don't want to change. You all are going to get an opportunity to play along. Feel free to text chat right in the chat box. We got Troy Sims. I know a lot of you know Troy. Troy is our fantastic salesperson that I'm sure has talked to probably all of you at some point. Feel free to go ahead and send a chat in. We're going to try to answer your questions as we go. We got kind of a lot to go through, because what you're going to find out, if you don't already know, is there are a lot of products tied to this. In fact, I'm just going to let one cat out of the bag is that we have this modern real estate practice 21st edition. That content is really driven out through almost every single real estate licensing product that we have. So when MREP comes through, the next thing that happens is everything else gets to partake in all those updates and all that current content. So really quite a production that we have going here at Dearborn. All right. So without further ado, let me just pull up this PowerPoint. And Kate, I'm going to start walking us through. Once again, hello to everybody. And feel free to send your text chats. All right, everybody. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have you guys all play along real quickly here. So I'm going to do a polling question, because I want to know who everybody is. We got a lot of people on here right now, and I want to know what your role is at your school, from owner operator to instructor so I'm going to put up a poll question. It's all anonymous. Everybody else sitting in here doesn't get to see, what you are. Feel free, if you want to put in the chat, you can, but I'd love to have everybody play along. This gives us an idea how to kind of frame the conversation today. All right, so here comes the first polling question for you today. And the first polling question is, who are you? I am an owner operator of the school, director, leader of our school licensing program, instructor of licensing education, or you're a competitor trying to steal all Dearborn's great ideas. We'll see if anybody answers that one. Well, we got a clear winner coming right now. And somebody did answer it. Nice. I'm a competitor. We'll track you down. All right. We're going to go ahead and close this in about 5 seconds, everybody. So truly, look at Jeff. Jeff, if you can go into that poll and you can click right on the screen right where the answer is, you can throw that out there. That would be great. Chris, look at that. Director of TriStar Academy, Maryland, Iowa Associations of Realtors. Stephanie, nice. Instructor, excellent. All right, let's go ahead and end the poll. I'll share all the results. And here we go. Look at that. We had 9% of you work for the competitor. That's a tricky little thing. But instructors are number one answer, 57.57%. So over 50% of you are actually instructors. You use the books. You're really interested. I've got another poll question for you guys later. really interested in how you're using the book and how you're using the content and how really specifically how you're using any of the instructor resources that we're going to talk about later. We have school owners and operators on here, and then people who lead their licensing program. So very good. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and jump in. Because we talk about the suite, right, Kate? I mean, just so everybody knows, this is what Kate does. Kate makes sure that these get built. We're on a regular schedule for updating, and we're always updating. I think you all know that we have a really well-documented errata resource. So when you print a textbook, when you come out with that content, the beautiful thing is it's all up to date. The really bad thing about printing a book or publishing a book to even do an ebook is it is locked in time, and it instantly can be outdated if there's a law change or a rule change. And so we have a very active errata program, and that errata program is available to you to understand, what is being updated as we go through before the next edition comes out. Well, the good news is all of those changes and all of those updates are now in the book, and they're all considered and taken account for. And so our errata plate is empty, which is great. And what are the products that are in here? We're going to cover all of these products kind of really quickly. And once again, feel free to ask questions as we go through it. We'll try to answer it. Number one is really the big driver, Kate, is Modern Real Estate Practice 21st edition textbook, right? I mean, that is the core of our licensing programs.
That's right. And all of these products typically have about a 4-year life cycle before we go then and create a new edition. So you haven't seen a new edition since about 2018, but this is the newest and greatest comprehensive real estate education out there.
Yeah. And I think that's the key here is the most comprehensive education resource out there. And that is Modern Real Estate Practice. And from there, we have ways to organize the content, to focus it, like the study guide. We're going to talk about what the study guide does for students to help them kind of focus. You got this comprehensive bit of material in the MREP. And then how do they focus down into some of those key concepts? How do they focus into some of those key components? And the study guide helps with that. eBooks. Let me ask a quick question. Anybody out there using eBooks only with your students right now? I know when a lot of people went to live online, we had a lot of people move to eBooks. And so let me know if you're using eBooks only. Put it in the chat. Just throw it out there if you'd like. Would love to understand how you're using eBooks, because I'll tell you right now, it is a consistent growing part of our business right now. And it's a kind of a compelling product. When you see what you get in the ebook, it's pretty compelling. I can tell you, the ebooks cost us more to produce than print book, but there's some compelling pieces in there, right? And I think we're selling them for the same price as the print book, but it's interesting, and we're going to cover that too. Flashcards, boy, I remember flashcards, Kate, when I was in third grade, going over multiplication and division tables, and you had to do flashcards in third grade. These are a little more in-depth and detailed than that, but people still use the flashcards. We sell thousands of sets of flashcards.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, super resource. We're going to cover that too. Then we're going to talk about the online course and what is in there. You look at eBooks only. Jim doing it. Kelly using both. Stephanie, I promote the flashcards. Way to go, Stephanie. For some people, that visual reference is just comfortable and it's easy. One of the things we will talk about is we're going to talk about exam prep apps and QBanks that come kind of with these books. And what you'll find is that with Modern Real Estate Practice and the suite of products, you get some additional assets when you buy the textbook. Dearborn, we have a principle is we want you to get more for your students than just the book. Even if it's just the print book, your students will still have access to more information. And we do that through some digitally delivered content, right? And we're going to talk about what that is. So understand, when you buy a book from us, you're generally getting more than just the book. There are other assets and resources, and you should be aware of them, because for some students, you know, some of them, the book isn't the greatest asset. Some struggle with that. Some might want to have an MP3, audio of some of the key point reviews. Some may want a question bank to just repeatedly go through questions. And so we're going to cover all of those. All right. Is the ebook compatible with Kindle? I think this ebook is on the VitalSource platform. Kate, do you know the answer? If it's
Yep, I think we've got that written in the slides. It is compatible with Apple and that.
Apple, Android, but I'm not sure it's on the Kindle platform yet. Is it? We'll check on that, Kathy.
Yep, but, compatible with iPad and Kindle Fire.
Boop, Kindle Fire. There we go. It is compatible. Right on. All right, let's jump into it. The first one, the big one, the textbook. I know there's a lot of, this is like every PowerPoint, you shouldn't do. We got like 12 points on here, but we got 30 minutes to go through all of this, and we're going to try to get to it, and we're going to try to answer your questions. So first and foremost, really a comprehensive source for your real estate education needs. This book has everything, and it's cited, like I said before, by just about every single regulator in the country as a resource for them when they're looking at what their testing outlines are and what their testing questions are. It's there. It's been around for how many years, Kate?
Over 60, 63.
63 years. So a long time, which means it's been refined over and over and over again, and we want to continue to refine it. So we continue to look for feedback from you using it in your classrooms and with your students. We want the feedback, and we want you to be a part of that errata process to make sure we're keeping content current. Laws change, rules change. We want to make sure we're doing it and we have it up to speed. The good news is we haven't changed the order of the units. I know for a lot of people, when you're teaching live classroom, either in person or live online, you kind of organize the day by, either morning session, afternoon session, evening, weekend. Well, we didn't change any of the unit orders. So it's same order, nearly the same timed outline. And so I think you're going to be in just fine shape there. For all you teachers, over 50% of you people on here, that should be easy. We've actually even added additional margin notes to emphasize important concepts. So people can actually take a little bigger note section in the books. More in-practice examples to clarify topics. So more storytelling as to why and what you're going through, and really an in-practice examples to kind of help solidify in students' minds really what they how they're going to remember this. We all know the power of storytelling, right? It seems to be all the rage in selling, seems to be all the rage in just about everything. And I can tell you it's influencing how we're actually designing courses and books, is moving more into storytelling to help with that. Let's see here. Kate, anything else on in-practice examples or anything else I've covered already that people should be aware of? Did I miss anything?
Well, earlier on the chat, someone had asked if we would be covering the summary of changes. And these are just a high-level summary of changes. But once you adopt the book, you'll get access to the Instructor Resources, which you can see on that seventh or so bullet point there. Included in the Instructor Resources, a more detailed summary of changes, unit by unit, to explain what changed for the 21st edition compared to the 20th.
Got it. Robert, if you just lost audio, you just hit your refresh button up on the top of your screen. See if that works. That generally will work for you. Really good point, Kate, on the Instructor Resources. And I know I was a teacher. I don't know if you guys know, but that's how I started at Kaplan. I was a real estate licensing instructor. And man, that book and your notes become so important. And it gets a little ragged and rugged. So the good news is there's a new book here. But the good news is in the Instructor Resources really is a detailed chapter, really unit by unit, what's changed, what's happened. And so you can go and identify and you can track your stuff back really pretty easily. Very instructor friendly when it comes to resources. And we're going to go through some of those resources in a little bit too. All right. How about this? The mathematics, right? FAQ sections remains. So do the point of use math concepts, features in individual units. So When I was teaching real estate licensing, we do these informal polls, and it was like 60 to 70% of the people sitting in those classrooms were deathly afraid of math, deathly afraid. And I bet you there's some people on here that are real estate experts and are still deathly afraid of math, right? So, and understanding, what you need to know, not only to be, an agent, but really, what do you really need to know to pass your licensing exam? So we spend a fair amount of time, Kate. How do we do those inside cover math? If nobody's seen the inside cover, how do we do that to help with math?
Well, yeah, that's just it. It's printed on the inside front cover and the inside back cover, and it's a bunch of just different commonly used math formulas that they'll need to access, and they're just right there handy for them.
Yeah, and I think the key there is they may need to use them, meaning they're very kind of test specific math computation
and timeless
examples, right? So there's and some instructors will go through that cover with their students and take it, and other times students will just practice on their own. But the idea is we wanted to be able to give something for math because it does seem to be such a challenge for a lot of people. All right. The next thing is purchase a book by school allows access to instructor resources, which we're going to cover in a second. But purchase a book also includes access to the student online QBank, right? And I think the online QBank, if I remember right, is that the next thing we have as a slide, Kate?
It is after the yes, and then talking about instructor resources also.
Yes. Okay. Well, maybe we could do the instructor resources piece. I'm looking at the next slide. Where am I at? Or, yeah, I think that's it on this one. Anything else, Kate, that we should cover on the textbook? I know we're almost 20 minutes in here, and I want to get to the rest of it.
Nope. Let's move on. Yep.
All right. So next slide. Included in the book is also, so now this is the part where think about this. So you have a book and we sell you a book, and you can use just a book. Book's great. Book's got everything in it. Super comprehensive, super up to date. But the idea was how do we deliver more than just a book? How can we bring more value to you and really to the student? And so included in the book is an online QBank, and it's a test taking tool. That's really what it is. It's the same questions that are found in the unit quizzes in the textbook, but are available in a customizable format. So when the students go in and they really want to kind of see what their state licensing exam is going to look like and feel like, and they want to practice these questions, and they want to have something that they can pick a topic and retest in it and have a bunch of new questions thrown up. This is a nice little online question bank that the students can use. And it doesn't cost them anymore. It's included in it, and it can give people a taste of what it really is going to feel like and look like. And then it features a performance tracker, right? So they can compare the results with others also, which is nice. And it can tell them where their weaknesses are and where they need to go in the book in order to actually, study it more and improve their scores. Anything else I should talk about with QBanks?
Well, just the fact that, when they buy a book, they're not just getting a book. They are getting access to this online resource. It's all about repetition and preparing for their licensing exam. So this is just an added value to you adopting this book for your students.
Right on. And it's printed in the preface of the book. So, hey, welcome, da, 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 da. And then there's a paragraph that deals just with this. I do kind of wish we had called it out a little better, bigger, big arrows, and because some people miss it, but it's in the book and it's in the preface, and students should be able to find it.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. What other student resources? What does it look like when they go to get that QBank? It sends them to this. This is actually a copy of the landing page over here. So they have QBank access, the access to QBank. They also have a couple other assets, right, Kate? They actually have
right hand side there.
Yeah, take us through. What else do they get when they go to this site?
So on that screenshot, you can see on the left-hand side, there's the access the QBank where they enter the promo code. On the right-hand side, in those black boxes, it's giving you instructions to download either the unit outlines or the unit objectives, and then by unit according to the order of the book, and then students can print that if they so choose.
Yeah, so just another neat little tool. So if the students wants a very simple outline of the unit and basically by at a high level is a lecture outline. Just a real simple thing. And some of you know this, some of you have seen this, some of you use this lecture outline yourselves, because the lecture outline is actually also in the instructor resources. So students get a resource, you get a resource, and then the objectives. They want to know each unit by unit, and they want to print it out, and they want to have it. If you, for any reason, you're using electronic book or whatever, and they want to have it differently, they've got it here. So just little assets for the students to help their experience with you. Very good. Anything else?
Nope. I think let's move on to instructor resources, because we want to make sure that our schools are using or aware that instructor resources are available when they purchase the book. It's a turnkey solution to help you in your live classroom setting. Maybe you're doing live online still. But let's see who is using our instructor resources today.
This is really good. So this is everybody get to play along, because we spend a lot of time on instructor resources.
Yeah, we do.
Really want to know, A, if you use them, and then B, I'm going to have a follow-up question. So let's do this. I'm going to ask a poll question. Y'all get to play along. Once again, it's anonymous. So let's do this. Does your school use the instructor resources? Go ahead and click right on your screen, right in the appropriate answer. Yes, no, or instructor resources. What are you talking about? I never even heard of these before, right? Somebody should have told me about that. Yes, no, I never knew we had access to them. Go ahead, answer up. Wow, surprising. I like this. I never knew we had access to them. Has actually got some power here. Now there is a clear winner, but yes, no, I never knew we had access to them. So we spend a lot of time on these, everybody. I mean, a lot of time and a lot of effort to try to give you the tools you need in order to make a delivery in the classroom or delivery live online, and make a great experience for your students. And you can use all of it or none of it, some of it. In fact, for most of our IRs, they're copyrighted and they're protected, but we allow you to use them and change them. As long as you're using them in your live presentation, you can manipulate these resources. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll and share. This is interesting. How about this? So share the results. Almost 63% yes. Woohoo! So almost 2/3 of you. 18% never. Why would I use them? Well, we're going to talk about it in a second. And then I never knew. How about that? The same amount. 18% said, I never even knew. That's almost like 1 out of 5. Never even knew we had them. All right. Well, you guys are in for a treat today. If anything, you're going to get a lot out of this part, because this is going to talk to you about the instructor resources. So, Kate, you want to just kind of drive us through some of these as we go, and I'll see if I can expand on anything.
Well, I just want to, I'm not going to cover everyone because we are low on time and we have a lot of products still to cover, but sure. I want to call out the PowerPoints, and I think it was, who was it? Just Shirley. You must be using our PowerPoint slides, and I think that's great. The PowerPoint slides that we provide are downloadable and customizable for you. You can customize the PowerPoints however you would like to tailor them to your classroom experience that you're trying to provide your students, whether it be you want to insert your own thoughts, your own activities. They are really customizable according to how you want them to appear for your classroom and your students. That's one of the We've done all the heavy lifting. Yep. You could come in and refine how you like, as long as you're using it in your live presentation. So real quick, that summary of changes we talked about before, what's different between this version and the old edition and the new edition? Yep. Classroom activities, games, learning activities. Use them or not, but there's some cool stuff in there that we get from subject matter experts and authors and instructors. And so we put some stuff in there for you. PowerPoint presentation, like Kate said. Discussion topics, you got to fill some time, or you want to bring a little deeper conversation to the class.
Recommendations for guest speakers. Boy, I want to bring in a mortgage originator. Let's bring in a home inspector. Identifies kind of areas where you might want to bring a professional in, have another voice. Internet exercises. Let's go on a field trip, and we're going to go and look for some information here, and here, and come back, and we're all going to talk about it. It's a live online that works pretty good, or even if they're sitting in the class. State and local considerations, right? Suggested items for class. Should I bring? What should I do as an instructor? And then obviously in the instructor resources, unit outlines, unit objectives, unit instructor questions and answer keys. So how you're going to ask the students questions, how you can prod them along during a class, give you some examples of what to use there. And then obviously the final and alternate final exams and answer keys. And so there's a pile of resources here. And I kind of want to know, for those of you that 60% who said you're using them, I want to know what you're using. So I'm going to ask one more survey question. This will be our last survey question. So please, please, please play along. If you answered yes, you're using them, then how about this? If you answered yes to using the instructor resources, please identify the ones you used or you do use. And you can scroll down on your page. There's a lot of answers here. I had all the ones we just listed off. I think there's like 12 or 13 or something like that. And you can answer all that apply. It's not just one. So answer all that apply. And we're really interested in this because we spend a lot of time. And if you have thoughts or ideas for additional resources, now you're sitting there going, I sure wish you had this. Put it in the chat right here. Love to see it. Yeah. Love to see it.
The amount of instructor resources and the variety of those files that we include with Modern Real Estate Practice is the largest variety of IRs of any book. I would say 95% of the books that we sell, we offer instructor resources for, but this book by far has the broadest variety of instructor resources offered.
Got it. All right. I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is pretty interesting. For me, I'm obviously, look at this summary of changes. That's a good one. That's an easy one. Classroom activities. We got 7.5%. PowerPoint, 15%. Recommendations for guest speakers, Discussion topics, 7.5. Internet exercises, 3.75. State and local considerations, 5%. Suggested items for class. Unit outlines, 11%. Unit objectives, 7.5%. Unit instructor questions and answer keys, 15%. And final and alternate final exams and answer keys, 15%. Interesting. I thought that would have been higher. That's a new to me. That final exams would have been higher. We spent a lot of time on them. A lot of time and a lot of effort on final exams. Wow. Very good. Well, thank you everybody for playing along there and really sharing and helping us kind of groom our products, obviously. And if you have any more thoughts about, hey, you guys really should include this in your instructor resource, it would be a huge help for me and bring a lot of value. Please, please, please send us an email. Send it to Troy, send it to me, send it to salesops@dearborn.com. Send it. Just send the idea. I promise you, you send an idea, it will make it to me at some point or to Kate, right? So we should be in good shape. All right, then we're going to move on. In the interest of time, here's the enhanced ebook. So we talked about it before. Some of you were using it. Some of you weren't. Kate, tell us, what do you think the top 3 most important things about people should know about an ebook? What do you think they are?
Well, I think since 2020, first and foremost, students in schools are looking for a broader variety of delivery methods for their content, not just the traditional printed textbook. We saw a huge growth from all of our Dearborn clients in the delivery of ebooks beginning in 2020, and that those sales have not decreased. People have come to love ebooks. Now, we still sell more print books than ebooks, don't get me wrong, but the growth of ebooks has grown over the last 2 years. So number one is just allowing your students and how you teach a more creative delivery method. The note-taking feature is a very desirable tool for instructors to be able to have their students take their own notes and then share it with other students in the classroom if you turn that feature on. And then the highlighting, like you would a print textbook, you get your highlighter out old school, right? Well, you can do that with ebooks.
And this
The
is
purchase of the ebook does also include the promo code in the preface of that content so that they can access the online QBank. And in addition, this isn't just an ebook. This is what we call an enhanced ebook, meaning when they get and download their ebook, it includes audio and virtual visual clips as well.
Yeah, so video, it gets the audio, kind of like the MP3 the key point review audio. And then that really cool feature, I know you talked about it, I know we're late, but this is a really cool feature for those of you doing live education. The note-taking feature allows note sharing. Now, this is on the VitalSource platform, and it's when it's on their laptop. But you know, when you do in-person education, there's this great little community that starts to form around some classrooms, and the people get to know each other. And next thing you know, they're going to lunch and they're talking about the content, and it really kind of helps with the experience. Sometimes it's a struggle when you are live online to get people to be able to connect. This note sharing tool, go look at it, understand it. It's a powerful tool to get students connected to students, and the instructor can be there too. And so if you're all playing along, students can answer questions of other students, but the instructor could come back in and drop a note in and say, good try, but here's the real answer. You can play along with the note taking. It's a super cool feature that can tie you together to students, even when they're outside the classroom, which is kind of cool. I thought it was one of the strongest features available. But enhanced ebooks, like Kate said, we are it's a steady growth in ebooks as a part of our business right now. Okay, study guide, next product. What is a study guide, Kate? I feel like this is a comprehensive. You know, MREP 21 is a big comprehensive book, and this seems to be a little more laser focused, right?
Yeah, you know, if there's any takeaway from any of you attending this webinar, I think it's the importance to realize that there is a study guide book that we offer in addition to the textbook. We want to get the word out for you all to realize that this study guide reinforces key concepts. It's less than half the size of the actual textbook. It's used as an additional study source along with the textbook, and it really keys in on those concepts that the student really needs to know for their national licensing education. So sometimes we hear, well, the MREP textbook is so big, there's so much, it goes into so much detail. Well, when you combine the textbook and this study guide, and we offer it as a combined set in print form, your students are going to be able to focus in more on those key concepts with the help of this study guide.
Yeah, right on. And there's once again, there's questions in there and matching and multiple choice. It's a really good study tool to help guide them through what's important in the content. I'm going to go on in the sake of time because we have our next part is really, you know, how can you get this? And we're trying to incentivize. We think they're a strong combo. And we think it leads to a really good learning experience. And so we package these as packages. If you're buying them for your school, you know, look to the book sets, either book or ebook sets that can get you a discount, because we think it's a great experience. We design them to go together. We want them to go together. And not everybody buys them together. A lot of people don't even know about them. So Kate, take us through this. This is really just a kind of an example of the book sets, correct?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Modern Real Estate Practice is a national licensing book content education option. Now, we sell, for example, Modern Real Estate Practice in Ohio. That book is national content plus Ohio content. Same thing with Modern Real Estate Practice in Georgia. Well, we don't have full state licensing books for every state. There are some states that we offer what we call practice and law books, like Arizona, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and so on. So what the solution is for schools in those states is you buy the national MREP book and then you buy the practice and law book for, let's just say, Massachusetts. You sell that book combo and teach out of that book combo to your students. So we put those book sets together. You can see we also offer the textbook and the study guide, the textbook and the language of real estate. That's a great definition resource book. But when you buy it as a set, off of your student bookstore or out of your bulk order bookstore, you're going to be getting anywhere from a 5 to 15% savings when that set is purchased, as opposed to buying those items a la carte individually.
Got it. Got it. Excellent. All right. And in the interest of time, I'm gonna blaze on to the next one, because this is a huge part for a lot of people. I know we have some people on here that offer the RE Campus online version of this course. And just so we all know, this content does drive into those state combined courses where it's state and national information together. And it is also set up in states as a standalone plus the bolt-on with Wyoming, Oklahoma, Vermont, West Virginia, South Dakota, North Dakota. But here's the deal. The online course benefits from everything. And one thing you might want to understand is the way we look at education is we build the content and then we try to push it out immediately through all channels. And same thing here, same functionality as previous version, study plan on the dashboard, unit intro videos. So I actually think I'm on a couple of the videos. We obviously couldn't afford a real, the superstar, so I'm on there. But licensing objectives in the videos, and the content is, once again, is used in really many of our state-specific licensing courses. So you'll see this push out across everything. Anything else, Kate, on the online course?
No, I think you're good.
Very good. All right. Here's another study tool. Some people like to listen. I do this. I do Audible books and MP3s. I'm mowing the lawn. I got the headphones on. I get it in. Great tool. If you're, and this can be a part of a package. This can be an add-on. Tell me, how can this be sold to the students, Kate?
Well, they can just, first of all, you want to make sure you adopt it through your bookstore so that your students can then choose to purchase it. You could also promote it within your school or offer it in your packages.
Got it. And once again, it's an audio book. It's about 2 hours long, right? And each of the learning segments are broken up into like 4 to 10 minute segments. And so very easy read, or very easy listen to. And it just kind of gets, here's another voice, a different voice. When you read, you have a voice in your head. When you hear another voice in the audio, it helps to lock in for a lot of people. The MP3 is a really solid play. All right. And then our flashcards.
Yep. So it comes in a real sturdy box. I don't think I have one here. Nice and sturdy cardboard box. Definitely something you're going to keep on your bookshelf and can reference for a long time, or students can.
Yeah, and it covers all of it, right? It's a simple flashcard. Turn it over. You got the answer. I take the box. I put it on a coffee table, and I got to tell you, even at home, people pull it out and they just start reading through them. Kind of funny, but solid play. Been around forever, and every time we think we're done with flashcards, they just keep coming back. I mean, during COVID, flashcards were like crazy sellers. It was a big deal. And just a solid set, very pretty, very straightforward. Anything else on flashcards, Kate?
It's just a great add-on to offer to your students. So even if you place a bulk order for your own school to keep inventory there, it's a great add-on, if you are in a physical location, to give your students too.
Got it. All right. And I think that brings us down to the end, everybody. We could probably sit down and dissect every single one of those things more. I know your salesperson can. I know the client success managers can help you with it. By all means, feel free to reach out. You can reach out to me. I can reach out to Kate. If you have any other questions or ideas or thoughts, I know Faith threw something in the text about something that we could do for ideas. Love it, love it, love it. Once again, please enter your contact information at modernrealestatepractice.com, and a sales rep will be contacting you if you want. If you're not actually adopting it yet, but you want to, please let us know how else we can help you. And Kate, anything else? Last minute thoughts?
Well, make sure to use this website. I just entered it into the chat there as your resource. If when we end this call and you need to look up information, there's a lot of information there to help you make some decisions, or you want to pursue this further, whether you are currently a book only partner, or, you want to look into the option, if your state allows it, of distance education, online asynchronous courses. We can help you with that, whether it be with Modern Real Estate Practice online course, or maybe you're in a state that we have state licensing online courses. please enter your information into that website, and our sales reps will contact you to get you started.
Awesome. And I'm going to leave the last shout out to the people, the real people who are building and working on these projects. You know, we have multiple authors, subject matter experts, and they're coordinated by our content creation team. You guys should know a little bit about Jody Manderfeld. She's a content manager here, senior content manager for us, I believe, at Kaplan. And she works on all the Dearborn products, and she works with all those authors and coordinates everything. She just does a fantastic job. And so we give a shout out to our friend and our compatriot here, Jody Manderfeld. If any of you have had an opportunity to work with her, you know what I mean when I say she's really a consummate pro and a professional at what she does. So thank you, Jody. Thank you, everybody. That concludes our presentation for today. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. You can go to that website. Like Modern Real Estate Practice has its own website. How cool is that? That's that important to us. Or you can contact your salesperson. You can contact a client success manager. You can go to salesops@dearborn.com. Thank you.